Farms are the same, but some fail and others succeed to become showcase model farms. There are many difficulties that are experienced by new and small-scale poultry producers, and these can be surmounted if only we understand where the problem is. Okutangura is a vet technician with a specification in poultry farming. Many of you voted for him following our post on Farm Kenya Facebook page requesting you to vote for the farmer you would want hosted on KTN Farmers TV. On this episode, we tag along with Okutangura to one of his client's farm in Kamulu by the name of Clarisse Atieno. She's a first-time poultry farmer rearing the Koroila and the Layers breed.
I'm into poultry farming. I started this around 2 years back, doing some research on different farmers, on social media. The structures I did last year in December, which I finished at around 5th June. I started with 1,000 Koroilas and 500 broilers. I wasn't so sure of the market, but I'm planning to get my market in like 2-3 weeks time. I'm a first timer and I think everything is going to be well for me. I know I'm going to be fine. My poultry farming is in Kamulu, past Ruai, not before Kamulu. After Ruai, on your way to Kamulu, there is a stage called Kanisani Road. That's where my poultry farm is.
Having a background of interior design didn't make Clarisse stop eyeing farming. In fact, even though her flock of birds were only a week old during our visit, she started doing research on poultry farming 2 years ago.
I've been an interior designer for long, but currently the market is a bit flooded. So I sat one day and I say, let's look at what I can do with myself. I stay in Rongai. I have at least some few neighbors who are doing poultry. So before that, I had passion in it, and that's what inspired me so much. I had a cousin. I used to visit her so much. Yeah, through her I got some inspiration, and that's why I started the poultry farming.
Social media has become an integral part of life. Social media is used to market products, promote brands, and connect to customers, and so on. Clarisse was able to find information relevant to her farming online, but she still needed professional assistance from a vet technician, and Okutangura came to her aid.
My research was mostly on the social media, where I met the vet whom I'm working with right now. He's called Dr. Kuta. I've been working with him. He's been helping me so much. Before I brought in the first batch of the birds, I visited him. Initially, I wanted to stick on broilers, but he told me to try the kienyeji, the Koroilas. They're also good, and I listened to him. I said, let me do the Koroilas and the broilers at once, and that's what I'm doing right now. I know the market for the broilers are there. Yeah, at least I have talked to some guys. I know it's there. I used to visit the cybers. Yeah, the farmers, how I visit some few, but most of the things I normally get from the social media. Yes, at times I normally call my vet so many times. I'm new into poultry farming. There are so many things I don't know. So I have to call. We just started recently. There are so many signs I don't know. So if there's anything that I don't know, I have to call to learn. Yeah. If for the foods, the feeds.
Okutangura advised Clarisse on how the structure should be constructed. With a total of 1,500 birds, she was required to have a structure that would give 1 to 1.5 square feet per bird.
The structure itself, the height of the walls should be around 3 feet high. The rest should be under chicken wire. That is the ventilation. And then, of course, the height of the house should be around 7 to 8 feet high. And then the floor should be corrugated. It should be rough to enable easier cleaning. The floor should have wood shavings as the litter.
Construction of brooder houses should be properly built to keep away predators such as rats, dogs, and even cats. Proper ventilation is necessary to regulate temperature and remove carbon dioxide, ammonia, other gases, moisture, dust, and odor.
And then once you have introduced the chicks, there are several things that we have to look into on the day of the introduction of the chicks. Of course, the house should have curtains when these chicks are being introduced into the brooder. The importance of the curtains is to prevent direct wind and to also make sure that the heat inside the brooder is not lost. And then there's that brooder construction. The brooder, importance of the brooder is to help those chicks get access to heat and access to feeds and water so that they don't roam and go far. For 1,000 chicks, it should have at least a diameter of 4 meters, and at least it should be at least 1 meter high so that there is no direct wind. And the poultry house itself should be covered very well to prevent predators. There are those factors which can lead to high mortality of chicks, including predators, including diseases which affect them from day one. We have other issues like poor quality feeds and suffocation, especially when the brooder has sharp corners. They go to the sharp corners and they suffocate and they die.
The broiler chicken was first introduced into East Africa through Uganda and then from Uganda into Kenya. It is an Indian breed that is well known for its good quality meat and the large number of eggs that it produces every year. The broiler, on the other hand, are meat birds that are bred to grow fast so that they are ready for the dinner table between 4 and 10 weeks of age. The combination of the two breeds are perfect for commercial farmers. Okuta advised Clarisse on where to source for quality chicks.
The chicks, when they were brought in, they were day-old chicks. The broilers came from Uganda, and the broilers, we took them from the Muguku farm here in Kenya. There are so many things you have to consult your vet before doing. So he's the one who told me there are so many people who are selling chicks, but you have to go for the right quality. So that's why he was telling me to go for the broilers in Uganda. The farms there, they are known. Their chicks are always good. And the Muguku farm, they've been there for at least for some time. So also they are broilers, that's why I went for them. They are good.
Right now there's a problem with eggs because of overproduction, and there's the import of eggs coming from the neighboring countries. Now most farmers are turning to broilers and other type of birds for meat. And there's huge demand in the markets, especially in the hotels and the butcheries, and there are some learning institutions. So that's why I advised her to keep these birds. The advantage is that these birds grow very fast. Broilers and broilers, they grow very fast, and for commercial purposes, the farmer is bound to get the return on investments in a short time. When you compare it to layer birds, because layer birds, you have to wait until 20 weeks for them to be ready. You'll have invested heavily on feeds and vaccines. But for this type of birds, the returns are in a short time. And the demand is there.
The stage of life when chicks need some additional heat is called the brooding stage. It lasts up to 6 weeks, depending on the temperature of the environment, until the chicks can control their body temperatures themselves. Clarisse has to follow instructions to the detail to ensure her chicks grow strong and reduce the mortality rate.
Okay, the first day they were brought in, I stay far, but I had to look for somebody to help me take care of the birds here in Kamulu. When they're still small, They are a bit delicate. You have to provide good heat for them. So we are making sure that the heat is okay. Their feeding program, there's a way they should be fed. The water, the way they are supposed to be given water. So there are some things that you have to follow on how you should. At night, when they are still like a week, a day old, there are some things you should really look into because they need a lot of attention. So even at night, like after every, you have to look into them. Yes, so the feeding, the watering, and the heat system have to be in good place. For the day-olds, up to around 3 weeks, you have to supply them clean water. That's water that I can also take for my consumption. It's good for them when they're still young. We keep on feeding. The moment the feeds are over, you keep on adding. The moment the water is finished, you keep on adding. In a day, we can feed like a bag at times. At night, at least they rest. At night there's some resting. They don't feed too much. They don't drink a lot of water. But in the daytime, they take a lot of food. They take a lot of water. 2 hours at times, even you wake after an hour, because they're still small, they can always run against each other.